feedback. I things I would do differently. I found the program excellent. I found the materials to be incredibly detailed. I was telling Dan that I really enjoyed the PRD process. I did all the exercises for the if you're stuck, even if I wasn't stuck. I found it extremely useful. I actually signed up on a Friday for one that started on a Monday. And so I had a lot of scheduling conflicts. And so I would do that differently if I could have. However, again, the materials were so good that I was able to kind of keep up and self-pace. So I've got a long note I'll be posting on LinkedIn recommending the program. So thanks you all very much. It was a good experience.
You're welcome. Yeah, our next boot camp for folks, if you do post on LinkedIn, everybody, next boot camp will be July 8th, will be the date that it starts. So if you could just, before you post anything, if you're willing to, we'll send you the Luma link for that, and you can put the date in the Luma link and just point people to it. That'd be awesome. Thank you so much.
Yeah, of course. Should I start the screen share?
Please do.
All
Please.
righty, let's go. Uh, yeah, here we go. Okay. So again, I'm Maura Randall, and this is Daily Fuel. It's a companion app for users that are on GLP-1s that really completely fundamentally change your relationship with food. And 1 in 8 adults are on GLP-1s. And again, it really completely flips that narrative, that relationship you've had with food from, how do I eat less to I can barely eat. How do I get the nutrients that I need to stay healthy? And, it's really interesting. There's a lot of research going on with these drugs right now, and they're seeing a lot of other benefits. So the researchers are actually starting to call them disease modifying drugs versus just weight loss drugs, just because of the broader benefits. But the challenge is the benefits are only there for those who stick with them. And about 54% of people drop off within the first year, not citing cost, which was initially thought to be the issue, but actually the side effects. Just the day defeats them, how they're feeling. And we think we can help with that in a different way, right? We don't see this as a tracking problem. We don't see asking people who can barely eat to write down every food that they have. We think it's a gap problem, and we're here to close two primary gaps, which is getting enough protein and getting enough fiber. So again, it's a gap closer. It's not a tracker. It asks, how are you feeling today? How does eating feel today? Because it can change from day to day and frankly from hour to hour. It's celebratory and encouraging. It is not judgy. And the competitive landscape is getting crowded. There's no question. However, they all seem to be focused on the tracking aspect. I think it's just because of the decades of diet apps focusing on, logging everything you eat and tracking calories. That's not what we're doing. And that's certainly not something that someone who barely has an appetite wants to do, write down everything they eat. And I don't even feel like eating. Setup happens once. I'm not going to show that to you today because we don't have the time, but I just wanted to call your attention to some of the things that we grab in onboarding. We ask you what your provider targets are. So what did your provider say that you should get in terms of minimums for protein and fiber? We capture your will eat, won't eat foods. We capture your shot day because your whole week revolves around that. And we also capture what we call go-tos. And these are foods that people can reliably go to even on a rough day. Um, and so, oops, I'm sorry, that went backwards there. Let's go to the demo. So here I am. I've already started building my today plan. Um, I can change how I'm feeling, and I want to show you this because this is how every day starts. We ask you, how are you feeling today? How does food feel today? I'm feeling pretty good today. So I'm on my today plan, and I'm going to continue to build it. So I see that I can see where my gaps are in protein and fiber. I'm gonna maybe add some pistachios. That's always a good source of fiber for me. I'm gonna ask the companion if it has any suggestions for me. Who doesn't love a burrito? I will add a burrito. ooh, now I can see I'm really close to closing the gap here. So, maybe I'll just have a few more chia seeds, and I know I can eat a second hard-boiled egg. I get a little celebratory note, which is going to get more exciting later. And it tells me, hey, you don't need to do anything else today. You've got your plan. However, as I said, these are minimums. So I can always look for more foods. And we built an integration with a USDA database. So I can search for different foods. If it's in my foods already, it'll show me. Otherwise, it will call and return options from the USDA database. Couple other things I can always add to my foods library, and adding to the library expands and sort of debiases our food library database. And I can always revisit my goals. I can add weight if I want to and weight targets, but I don't have to. So that is daily fuel. Does
Excellent.
anybody have questions?
Excellent timing. I had about 10 seconds left on my timer. Well done. Um, I love how simple the flow and look is. There's elegance and simplicity, and I think you did a great job at finding that balance. Any feedback or questions from the group?
Very clean design. Very clean. I think your UX work is solid.
Thank you. Appreciate that.
Do you have any, is there like a future thought about integrating with something like Chronometer or, one of these apps kind of like that are, highly popular as maybe a distribution mechanism?
That's a really good thought. I actually don't have that currently on the roadmap. The next big initiative is to build in the LLM piece so that
Mhm.
it's, less rigid and more flexible, and really that companion comes to life. But I'll definitely look into that because obviously distribution, I mean, we have this huge, target audience base and it's growing so quickly, but distribution is going to be a challenge, of course. Thank you for
Did
that.
you have did you have one thing that really you struggled with in this getting to where you are?
The one.
I'm just curious. Like, what was the one big hurdle that you had to get over to get this in the form that it is?
Yeah, to be honest with you, the biggest hurdle was also my biggest driver for joining this boot camp, and that is discipline. I mean, it's not that I'm 20 years in this business, I have discipline, but in today's world where you literally can build anything, it's really getting disciplined and focus on what does that, initial product really have to have so I can get it out to that next round of users. So I would say that was a struggle that your um, boot camp really did help me with. And I think, cutting off features was really hard. Because I could add so much more. But yeah, I mean, the whole thing was challenging, but that's what's so amazing about it. And it's so empowering to be able to do it.
I love it. I love it. I know everybody in the boot camp was very annoyed with me every day when I would say narrowest slice of features, but I think it's proven to be true as I expected it would be. Um, so I'm really eager to see where you take this, Maura. Awesome work. Super cool. And I
Thank
know
you.
some people that could benefit from this. When do you intend to go live?
It's actually live right now. However, I am moving it to my domain that I purchased, so dailyfuel.io. I'll probably get that live today, but I'm actually reaching out to about 15 alpha testing customers just to get another round of insight before I actually start really getting it out there and pushing for new users.
Okay. Let us know when you're ready to do that.
Okay.
We'll help push it. Everybody
And
in here, that's something we're offering everybody. Let us know when you're ready.
yep. And if
Thank
you do have a link you want to share with folks after each person presents, feel free to drop it in chat if it is publicly available and you want to share it. I'm sure folks would like to tinker around and give you feedback too.
thank you. Thanks so much.
Thanks, Maura. Awesome job. All right, next up, Hillary.
Right. Let me share.
Oh, great background, Hillary.
Oh, it's actually a real, it's not a background.
Oh, that's even better. Wherever you are, it looks awesome.
I'm in Florida at my parents' house. Yes, it's funny. I got the same thing. Can you see the screen?
Yes.
Okay. So I am building Kin. Kin will help you be a part of your parents' lives, even when you're apart. And Kin is you're going to be your AI partner for those everyday requests that your aging parent sends you almost every day. Now you can get them handled in minutes. And as many of you know, a simple request for help is never that simple. This is an actual story that happened to me recently. My mom sent me an email on a Tuesday with a document. Can you help me with this? I didn't have time to read it. She had to ping me several times. Even when I looked at it, I wasn't quite sure what she was asking. And I actually was able to clarify a little bit that her ask was not the problem she was really facing. I finally carved out a couple hours to work on it over the weekend in between kids' carpools, athletics, my own free time. It was finally done. I sent it back. She still had more questions. So 4 days later, hours of my time, and it still wasn't solved. And this isn't a one-off. This is an ongoing need. And it's really about the everyday business of life, getting harder, more complex, more technical, not only for you, but for your parents as they age. So what's the real problem or pain? It's really an emotional one. Your mom may be thinking, gosh, I hate to be a burden, but what's taking her so long? Doesn't she care about me? I'm feeling guilty. I'm feeling sad. And I know this is only going to get more complicated. I really want to be there for my mom. I need help. And I'm one of millions. 40 million US adults are caring for an aging parent. 86% feel emotionally drained. Now, the insight is that most parents, especially independent parents who are still living on their own, don't need full-time care, but they do need everyday help. And they want to know that you care. We have full lives of our own. We struggle to find time and energy for our own families, let alone for our parents. There's solutions out there for full-time care, in-person care, and medical-focused care, but nothing really for everyday business of life until Kin. So imagine Kin handling your everyday requests for your still independent parents. Those forms, the questions, the appointments, the scheduling, the back and forth. So you can really be there for them in minutes without all the time and the stress and guilt it costs you today. So let me show the demo. Welcome to Kin. You'll sign in with Google. I call this a V0, as my pod knows. Now, the value of Kin, oh no, it's okay. Well, all right, sorry. Well, you're going to miss clearly an entire onboarding screen where the value of Kin is that it's going to be personalized. The onboarding screen would ask me who I want to help, who's the relationship. It's my mom, Betsy. She's my mom. She calls me Hill. I call her mom. And it would find out, how do I usually communicate with her? Is it email? What kind of tone do I want it to have? Then I'll be able to make my request. So in this case, my mom forwarded me the health form that she needs help filling out. I don't have time to look at it. I want Kin to handle it. And what Kin will do, different than just using ChatGPT or Claude, is that it will give you two outputs. It will give you a summary. Am I running out of time, Garrett?
Yeah, 1 minute.
Okay. It will give you a summary for your own use, and then it will give you a draft response that you can quickly copy and paste for your parent. Done in minutes. So I've only shared this with the pod and some friends and family, and it's clear that the pain is real and visceral. People want the solution now, and there's so many use cases. The challenge will be to keep it focused. But the impact is real. Kin will let you be apart even when you're apart. No longer is mom waiting. She's getting help. You're not spending time. It's no longer a chore. And it's personalized for her in your voice. And most importantly, your mom is loved and supported, and you feel fulfilled and at peace. That's it. This is just more discussion. I don't have to show this, but
Yeah, this is so great. Go ahead. Sorry.
The feedback I want is not so much on the demo, because it's really just getting the scaffolding done. It's not really fulfilling the promise yet, but I'd love to hear if this resonates and what you think is necessary to make it differentiated and worth paying for versus just using ChatGPT or Claude.
Daniel, go ahead.
Hey, I thought this was a really interesting idea, Hillary, but I couldn't immediately see myself caring for my parents in their 80s because I couldn't figure out if we're trying to solve a technical issue for them or a timing and scheduling issue. So somewhere in your pitch deck, you need to kind of help me clarify or better understand where we're going with this. Now, you may already know, and I'm sure you do, or there's a backlog of things that I'll end up hitting the highway on when they get deployed. But that's the only thing that I would say about your pitch that I didn't quite understand was based on what my parents' needs are, how does Ken help me figure out how to simplify that communication?
Good. Thank you.
I remember when you first presented this and shared, I think the entire pod was like, this resonates. I'm going through this. I think you're definitely on to a real life challenge that everyone goes through. And I'm curious for those that do have this experience in the room, if there are any, help give some feedback on what would be a real pull for you to open this up and use it, and not just you, but your parents as well, or loved ones, if not just parents, but those you're caring for. Susan.
Yeah, I'm in the pod, but I was just going to say, I'm actually in this right now. My mother's 82. So just wanted to kind of give maybe Dan some context. I mean, I started getting very emotional because it's exactly when you're apart. I think that was a kind of, for me, the thing when you have a parent in a different area and they need support and they're either text messaging or calling you, it's really hard to, kind of figure out how to like triage those requests in a caring way without your parents feeling or your mother feeling like, oh, I'm just another kind of like item on your checklist.
Ida.
So Hiller, I love this, and I'll definitely be a beta tester for you as well, especially more so with my in-laws. But one thing that I want to let you know about is AARP has sessions, and they have a lot of data around this on age tech. They also have different contests where they help support companies that are looking to launch software like this. And let's connect on that because I worked fractionally for a company for a year that was in age tech, and I worked directly with AARP.
Oh, I haven't heard that term, age tech.
Yeah.
Thank you. That's awesome.
I was going to say the same thing. My parents in their 80s, they love ARP. They don't use a cell phone. They can't see the screen, right? My dad worked in tech and he's tech challenged. So I think all folks at this age, and my parents are in Portland. So I'm like I see this problem every day. I think you've hit on something really powerful here, Hillary, and I'm super excited to see where you take this. I'm really, really excited. There's like a huge need for what you've identified.
All right, Hillary, meant to start with this, but to wrap up and to transition to the next, can you tell us a little bit about your experience and what you would share with a prospective student who's interested?
Yeah, I loved the course. The timing and the schedule worked perfectly for me. I loved that it was 3 times a week, keeping the momentum going. And I, like Mara, I really liked the PRD process. I thought it was a really good, almost a lesson on how to think about product ideation and really pushed me to think deeply about the user and the problem. And then I really liked pre-code. I mean, it again, as we talked about, it might be overkill for something like an MVP like this, but I liked using it to learn how the AI is thinking and what things to look out for when I'm building it without pre-code. And it was just a lot of fun to get into it and get my hands dirty. I didn't get as far along with the product itself, but that was okay because I was able to at least build the connections and have already identified a lot of things that I need to keep in mind for the next build.
Awesome. Thank you for sharing. Thank you for presenting. Amazing work. I'm very excited to see where you go with this and keep us in the loop. And if you have public domain you'd like to share with the group, please drop it in chat.
Okay.
Nico, you are up next. You can start or end with your experience. Totally defer to you on how you want to approach your demo and feedback.
Great. Thanks, everyone. Hi, I'm Nico Posner. I'm currently at Q3D Sensing, which is a company that is building a 3D reality capture LiDAR device. And for those of you who don't know what it is, this is our website where you attach our device to a smartphone. It is used in predominantly architecture, engineering, construction environments, and you would produce things called point clouds, which generate things like this, where you would then be able to see a 3D visualization of these data sets. So why is that context important? Is that I use the SnapCamp project to start building our developer portal. The audience here that I am designing for is the developers who will be integrating the files that are output out of our LiDAR device into their software applications, which are downstream. So we decide, real estate scanning is a use case that we're working on. We have another use case that we identified that's a little bit simpler. We're starting with called pool volume. So you want to scan an empty pool for maintenance. And there's a need for that and opportunity. So that's what we started on. So this project will end up in production and be a key part of our go-to-market strategy as a company. So this developer portal is solving a couple key points, key problems. One is developers need an easy way to sign up, easy way to get a API key in order to access and make API calls securely. And then they need to be able to play with our system and test it out. So there's a lot of documentation here on how, standard developer portal things on the data structure, authentication, et cetera. But the key thing is here, we've made it very simple. This is an OAuth based Google authentication methodology to create an account or to log in. This is real. This is not faked. This is actually logged in. And you see I'm logged in here at my work email address, and I'm immediately dropped into the API key because once I create an account, that will be the most important next step. It is shown here once. I can copy it, and then after that, it will never be shown in its full text. This is the industry standard practice. Later on, you will be able to, see now I just copied that, and now after that, it is no longer showing the full text. I'll be able to revoke that later, etc. Now, the most interesting thing here is, again, if the user experience, a developer wants to say, hey, what can this portal do? What does this intelligence layer do? I'm going to choose a PLY file, which is one of the industry standard file formats of our industry. And I can upload a file here of a pool scan. In this case, this is a L-shaped pool, and this file is actually uploading and integrating with another intelligence engine that a partner engineering team has built. So I'm building the commercialization layer. They built the intelligence layer. Just to be clear, I did not do all of this. This is a collaboration effort. And once this uploads, I'm going to show this in screenshot form because this can take a minute or two, but this does proceed eventually to, you're uploading here these, the pool scan is going through a processing phase. Then you get to the analysis phase where after it's complete, it will output the pool volume in gallons, in cubic meters, and other key metadata that the intelligence layer can infer out of that 3D data set, maximum depth, surface area, but the pool volume in this case is the one we're working towards. And then users will also be able to look at all their pool scans, including the metadata that they've captured previously, and will be able to reference previous pool scans. This one at the top is the one I just did, at least this morning, to highlight this. So this is the start of a long journey with other types of scans and other types of intelligence, but this is the first vertical slice of an experience from account setup, API key generation, analysis, and getting results. And I'll stop there so we have time for questions.
Lovely. Thanks, Nico. All right. Any questions or feedback from the group?
As a non-developer, I saw a lot of developer clapping hands. Will you just restate what you built that doesn't exist versus the product that you work for today and what it does?
So none of what I showed you existed previously.
Okay.
But just to be clear, I'm developing more the portal, the interface, the account access, the authentication, the API key generation, the intelligence layer that does the actual point cloud analysis was not part of my project. I don't have the engineering chops to do that. That was done by another team, but we did work together to then make the connections between what I'm building, which is the developer facing or customer facing interface to that engine that can do the actual analysis. So there was a lot of collaboration on not only the front end user experience, but the connectivity between the two engineering systems on the back end to be able to send files, upload, analyze them, and get the results returned.
Very cool.
So for those joining who weren't in the boot camp or SnapCamp, Nico's need is different than someone building their own business, building their own app. He's working with engineering teams at the organization he operates in and is trying to build a tool for his business in collaboration with other engineering teams. And this SnapCamp was giving him the tools and skills to be able to build on his own, so he didn't have to rely on bottlenecks elsewhere in his org. Do you want to talk a little more about that, Nico, and your experience as well? And if other folks do have feedback questions, please also put them in the chat.
Yeah, I mean, this has been really amazing because within our organization, we're a very small startup. We have just a handful of team members. We are looking for ways to accelerate what we can do internally with tooling, with AI, and the vibe coding systems that are out there really don't give me the confidence that what we could build is scalable, secure, compliant with ADA, accessibility, all that. And the SnapCamp and the Pre-Code OS really has been giving me the confidence that what we're going to build can produce production quality, production ready outcomes with the confidence that it can also scale over time to be enhanced over time, eventually get other collaborators in and be something that is worthy of our customers. I have a very high bar as a product person on what customers want. I've built developer portals before and I know what good looks like. And I'm really excited to see this tool set as I see it as the potential to enable me as an individual non-engineer, technically oriented, to work both independently and also with engineers with deep engineering chops to work collaboratively with this tool and through this tool to produce some amazing customer experiences, whether it's for developers and or our end customers who will be buying these.
Yeah.
Hello, Nico. Just a quick question from engineering side. Uh, do we only support the PLY file, or can we support the other type of files? And the second question, so you can just give me the answer of both of them. How can we like measure the volume of an object that is, let's say, we scan in centimeters, but it is really in the meters. So how do we really convert those? By
So
the way, great product.
Thank you. The answer is the PLY file is one of many industry standard formats. We will want to provide more, but to be able to process those other file forms will take engineering work. So we started with one. We will be supporting other file types, E57 and LAS, LAZ, etc., in the future. But this is the first one we're starting with to get the engine running. And then once we get it working, we can parallelize additional scan types and different file types. In terms of our precision of our devices, centimeter level, 2 to 3 centimeter level accuracy and precision. In terms of what we can output in terms of this volume, that what's interested, this is a volumetric negative volume case of gallons or cubic meters. When we get to real estate cases, we'll be wanting to be able to do measurements that will be down to the centimeter level. Because our device has data sets that are that accurate, we will be able to display those values down to the centimeter level precision, which depending on the use case and what the customers need and want. Hope that answered your question.
Yeah, that's great. Thank you.
Thank you for that comment. Any other questions?
Looks good, Nico. It's cool. I've helped build a couple developer portals at big scale. You're on the right path. You got all the right scaffolding, and it's incredible to see somebody come in with a strong product management background but no engineering background, and in a month build that. So it just shows the amount of time you put into this, the dedication. You should be really proud of what you've done so far. It's very cool. Honestly, 10 years ago, this would have been like when I was doing this at Capital One 8 years ago. What you just built in a month by yourself, essentially, we had a team of almost 100 building, and it took 6 months. That's the difference that AI assisted coding enables. It's incredible.
Yeah, very exciting. Thank you. And I'm excited to continue working on this and working with the team.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Same, Nico. Same. Yeah. Excited to see it and continue working with you. All right. If there is any other points of feedback, questions, feel free to put them in chat or reach out to Nico directly. I assume we won't be asking for a public domain for you to share with folks since it's an internal business tool.
Well,
so
it will be available eventually under probably dev.q3dsensing.com. It will be part of our live website once we're at a production quality and feature level. It's not there yet because this is just the start, but we will eventually be pushing this to production.
Awesome.
Thanks.
Okay. Thank you, Nico. Next up is Matt. He couldn't be here with us today. He's traveling, but he recorded his demo video and we want to play it. Mudasir's got it ready for us. So even though he can't be here, just a reminder at the end, we're going to put a poll up for everyone to vote on their favorite, and top 3 get an award. So we want to make sure he still gets that time to play his demo. Mudasir, go ahead when you're ready.
Okay, sure.
By the way, Mudasir, there's nothing playing in case you were expecting that it is.
Now I'm just getting the sound done and we should be good to go.
Okay. Started to share and then it went back to. Okay.
Yeah, just confirm me once you guys can hear the sound.
All right. Let us know when you hit play.
Hey team, I'm here to introduce you to RepLab IQ, your candidate reputation intelligence platform. The biggest decision that a company makes is who to hire, and right now it is based completely on self-report before the decision has been made. So if you think about resumes and interviews, these are all things that are self-reported by the candidate, and a reference call isn't done until a hiring decision has been made. Hiring decisions are becoming more important than ever as companies give employees more agency and the cost of mishires are increasing. And in addition to that, we're seeing the rise of fraud. So people misrepresenting themselves inside resumes and interviews. And there's really no third-party evidence that's provided prior to a decision being made. So it's not that references are broken because they're hard. It's because they're too late in the process. They're unstructured, and the methodology is all wrong. Calls today are meandering. They're usually rushed. They're usually done by a hiring manager who hasn't been trained on how to conduct a good reference call to pull out good insight, and or it's done by surveys and filling out forms, and you're never going to get rich, qualitative, actionable insights from just filling out a survey. So the way it is today is that their references are all run post-decision, and they're more of a checkbox kind of exercise with unstructured calls, scheduling headaches, and surveys that just add no value. That's why we created RepLab IQ. And what you can expect from RepLab IQ is that your candidate receives an invite, they put in their references, and then in 48 hours, these calls have been conducted and an actionable brief is sitting in your inbox. So the brief is really actionable. It's based on research that I've done, based on structured interviews, using behavioral research best practices. And it's made to uncover rich qualitative insights about a candidate that dig into a very different level than if a person were to be getting a reference by a survey. So what we believe here is the kind of impact we can drive is really winning businesses are going to focus on better hiring signals, because better hiring signals means better fit employees and companies. It means higher performance and happier employees. And we do believe that there are no real bad people, there's just bad matches. And that's happening a lot with the archaic systems and methodologies that are being used today. So we empower businesses with candidate reputational insights to make excellent hiring decisions that create winning businesses. So you can have the complete picture about a candidate before a hiring decision has been made. So I'm going to do a quick demo here. This is, if you're a hiring manager, you would land on this page, and this would be your monitor to monitor the progress of each of your candidates. If you wanted to start a reference check for a new candidate, you'd go in here, you'd fill out the details, fill in what you'd want to probe on, and you would send the invite to the candidate. The candidate would then log in and provide their references, the 3 references that they have. They would be able to see a preview of the message and then send the references. The reference would get this email. They would be informed that it would be 10 minutes, confidential and thematically analyzed, and they can take the interview right then and there without any kind of scheduling. They would agree and continue, and then they would have a verbal conversation with AI where AI would dig into details. And they would go back and forth very naturally, have a conversation here. Once the call is done and it's gone through the framework of questions, they would end the call and everything would be transcribed and thematically analyzed and put into a brief. The brief would provide a thematic summary of strengths and improvement areas, pulling out specific quotes and rehire eligibility, and then behavioral examples, including audio and transcripts to be able to be analyzed further. Where I could use your feedback is really kind of 3 different areas. The first is the pain. Is the pain big enough to drive a purchase? So if anybody has done reference calls before, do you believe that this pain of doing a reference call is big enough? If you've been a hiring manager, would this brief actually influence your decision, and would you find value in it? outside of just doing a check the box reference check. And then finally, if you were a reference and you got an AI moderated reference request, would you take it? Would you feel comfortable? Would you not? Definitely appreciate that feedback from everybody. Thank you all very much, and it was great being in class with you. Very much appreciate everybody's feedback. Thank you.
All right. If anyone has feedback, we could still do it verbally. He's not here, but we're recording it so we can share it with him, and he'll just get the feedback async or drop anything in chat, and we'll forward it along to him as well.
Well,
I think
I'll
it's
just.
really. Oh, go ahead, Dan.
I was just gonna say I think what Matt's hit on is just like everybody else is a real need. I have seen this play out so many times at the executive level. He's really hit on something here. Whether or not he's got the right solution for it, time will tell. But he's obviously understands the problem really cleanly, and that's I think a big part of the challenge here. And he's built something to go test the PMF, and that's what he talked to me about. It was like he feels like he's ready to go test for PMF. Sorry, Hillary, what was your comment?
No, I agree. I thought it's a real pain point. I loved that you could just start the reference call right then and there if it was convenient for you. Questions I would have are, he can quickly and probably easily do some side-by-side tests of live calls versus the AI call and do some real comparisons of the depth, the honesty, etc. And I was just wondering if there's legally, I don't know that much about reference checks, but would the reference giver want to see the transcript before it's sent? They don't really get a chance to do that with a live call, but there could be some things you could do.
Interesting idea. Yeah, I don't know if there are any legal repercussions there, right? Kind of a gray area.
I was just asking for him, questions for him to think about.
Yeah.
All right. In the essence of time, because I'm sure some folks here have a stop at 9, we'll keep things rolling. If any other things come to mind, put them in chat, please. Ina, go ahead. And same as before, let you, however you want to approach feedback on the course and what to expect for those that might be curious to take it. Feel free to start or end with that, whatever makes sense for you. The floor is yours. And if you're, okay, now I can hear you.
Yeah.
Great.
Hello everyone. So my name is Ina. So I am a machine learning engineer. So I decided to join this SnapCamp because I wanted to how product engineering and front end and then product like building works end to end. And then I'm glad that I did it. So I learned a lot about the product building ideation, from the ideation to pre-code. I think I overall just like the framework a lot. I think it keep us focused, keep us honest, and then debate with AI, and then in the end, like build something that stays true to the North Star that we put down at the beginning. So I really enjoyed it. Yeah, thank you.
Amazing, thank you.
Okay, so I'll start presenting Lumina. So this is a video ads generator for fashion. So with Lumina, you can turn any product photo into a compelling try-on video ad in minutes. So next, let me show you why that matters. So here's the reality. So fashion moves fast, new drops every season, hundreds of SKUs each time, and each of them needing fresh creative. And platforms like TikTok and Reels, videos isn't optional. It's a native content format and simply more engaging than images. But the clothing brands behind most of these catalogs can't actually create video try-on ads at scale. So their products change and their ads don't. Or why doesn't everyone just do it? Because every option today costs too much or requires expertise. On one hand, influencer shoots are expensive and slow, and you can't repeat them across an entire catalog. On the other hand, animated stock photos are cheap but lifeless without human in the picture and doesn't deliver the message. Finally, the pro AI video tools that can pull it off demand prompt engineering skills that sellers simply don't have. So brands either spend too much time or spend too much money on video shoots, or they ship static or animated stock photos and fail to capture attention in the feed despite spending a lot of money on the ad campaigns. So here is what current AI tools missed. So the solution is not a better prompt box, but actually letting sellers simply point at what to keep and what to replace based on the reference with zero prompting expertise. And that's exactly what we built with Lumina. So what makes it possible is that the SOTA video generation models can now faithfully follow product images to every detail, as well as performing complex human product interactions, such as putting on jacket, tying laces, and fastening a belt with a high level of realism. They can also utilize reference videos where people can create any variations based on simple prompt. Generating videos with Lumina takes as easy as 4 steps. Step 1, upload a reference video plus 1 or more product images. Step 2, write a simple prompt to mention what to keep or replace given the assets. And step 3, hit the generate button and let the magic happen. And step 4, review the output video. So now let me take you to the demo. So here's Lumina. So as a first-time user, you would first land on this page, and then you continue with the Google authentication. And then here you can just start a new chat window and then say a few things like hello, and then you will say that it can help try on videos. And then you can just interact with the assistant in this way, and then upload assets. So it's giving you some instructions. And so here I'm going to move on to upload an asset. So say this is my reference video, and then I will upload a product photo. So the shirt with the denim jacket, the image, and then I'll hit generate. And so this is where the magic happens in the backend. So to save everyone's time, like in terms of waiting for generations, so I have pulled up a few examples here. So these are generated like shortly before this demo. Here you can see that we can get
1 minute.
yeah, and then maybe I should show you the reference video. So this is a real video. And then basically we're just performing edits on this video. And then you can also say, here is another photo, but it's not clean, has a clean white background. Okay, so coming back to, yeah, just as you see with Lumina, you can simply turn the stock photo into a video in minutes. So yeah, with Lumina, the government stays true to the product image, while the reference video determines the bar for the video quality, and it takes 10 minutes to create a finished ad instead of weeks compared to using human crew or agency. So I think for the sake of time, I would like to move on to the discussions part, especially about the risks for adoption, and to ask your opinion about what blockers can be real ones, such as customer trust, the latency and cost, and then the legal platform risks. Yeah, thanks.
Thank you, Ina. I mean, I'm watching it and I'm thinking of it as a buyer. Like when I'm shopping for clothes, everything's online now, and there's great return policies, so there's a little risk for it. But I would love to be able to have my video of me twirling around and trying on different things before I buy it, because I don't care how it looks on the model or the AI. I would care more of how I think it would look on me before I buy it. And that would be super interesting for me. That would definitely give me a little more confidence. But pulling to the group, your thoughts,
Is that,
feedback.
I'm just curious, is that the use case, or is it for the manufacturer or the brand owner? Or could you
Yeah, it's
extend it
actually
to the end
for
user?
the seller. So I think why it's not for the customer, the cost is pretty high. So I would imagine that you probably don't want to pay like $10 to see yourself in the clothes before you buy it. So yeah, so I think it's a kind of a decision to the brand that maybe they want to consider various person attributes and then body shapes maybe like when creating an ad. and deliver that to the target customer in a high relevance way, and maybe that will make him feel more relevant to the customers.
So Hina, two questions for you. One, you have a background in machine learning, right? So did you create the algorithm that's running this?
No, I'm just making API calls, but I know the models well enough that I know what they can do, so hence the product idea.
Okay. And is your intent to build your own model on the back end to run it, or are you still going to just pull from another model?
No, I think the model is pretty good and we can use it. Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Mhm.
All right, I'll ask the rest to ask questions in chat, so we can move on to Chris with the time we have left and try to get these last few in. Apologies for running a little late, Chris and Lacey, but feel free to take the full 5 minutes to present. And looks like there's some comments for you in chat. I'll let you answer them there or address them there.
Thank you.
Thank you for presenting. Pleasure to have you in SnapCamp. Look forward to see how you evolve this. And Chris, without further ado, same prompt for you. Would love to hear about your experience and what you might share with a prospective student, but feel free to do that at the front end or the back end. Up to you. The floor is yours.
Can't hear you, Chris. You're on mute.
Hi, everyone. Thanks for the opportunity to present and get some more feedback from the team at large. I'm presenting my project, which is temporarily called Character Wheels. Page. The problem I'm addressing is the notion of parents and other adults in youth lives wanting to connect with their children on character development topics. In general, we've identified a space that a majority of parents feel like they could be doing more with character education with their children. And saying that they feel like their children potentially struggle because they've not done enough in this area. While at the same time, youth are actually saying that parents seem like they give feedback that they prioritize achievement or the notion of happiness over other character developmental areas, such as caring for others, being cooperative team players, being honest, etc. The other insight is sort of parents really don't have the educational background, experience, or potentially vocabularies to engage with their youth on these topics, or sort of the eye roll response when you try and talk to your kids about things in their lives that they're not receptive because it's kind of coming in a stilted context where it's not sort of natural to the situation that you're trying to reach out to your children and engage with them on the topics. So the main insights are that using story has a long and proven tradition of teaching moral and ethical development. Film is generally found to be an effective tool for social and moral learning. And children find real world applications from the context they learn and observe through film. And these findings have been backed by research by other media sort of research and educational organizations. So the idea for the project is character reels turns family and movie viewing into structured character education for children ages 8 to 12. Which is sort of a great age to children are progressing from rules-oriented character decision-making to moral reasoning and ethical reasoning, personalizing, I guess, what their value systems are. And so it's a great opportunity and time range to reach children when they start to develop the mental capability to engage with these topics and really understand the nuances of moral decisioning and social and emotional learning. The premise is children and their families watch popular movies while the second screen app delivers an experience with lessons, mostly guided through pause point prompts, brief comprehension checks, the opportunity for discussion questions, and then more rich activities like journaling activities and other interactive, creative acting or imaginative exploratory activities. With that said, I will jump into
1 minute.
the demo. So the main thrust of the demo is the background here is during the course of a movie viewing experience, that there are timed out pause points, which as you watch on the second screen experience, it gives you the pause point, both consisting of short kind of call outs for positive character trait that was contextually available in the movie, or a more deep character close-up, which provides more of an instructional opportunity and some brief multiple choice questioning in order to engage that the child understood what the premise of the educational intent was. So just moving through these quickly. This was designed to be a second screen experience, sort of mimicking a darkroom environment and design orientation for the correct age group. After going through sort of the easy multiple choice questions that they're prompted through, the end of the movie, there's an opportunity for in-depth discussion entry. And generally, one of those focused on each of three main character items in the movie.
All right, time. But feel free to wrap up anything important you wanted to share.
Okay, and then going through that, it prompts you for other kind of exploratory elements with the app, and which would consist of kind of in-depth review and profiles for all the character traits that appear in the program, and then the coming soon notion of the cast as sort of the tracking mechanism for gamifying the interaction with the educational curriculum. And that is it. I guess in terms of questions, I guess I'd be interested in just hearing one, if this is something that people would be interested in using with their children or young people in their lives. And then I think after further development, getting demos in the hands of the right people to test it out and kind of sussing out willingness to pay and those sort of product development questions.
So Chris, I put some comments in the chat, just wondering who your customers are, whether it's families or educators. I think this product could be very interesting for teachers who are looking for discussion guides on certain topics and trying to use movies as a medium to teach those topics and lessons and helping them create curriculum to address those. I think that could be very interesting. I think it's a more natural thing where, even my own kids, they would watch a movie at class, which of course they love, and then they have to talk about it and they could do the lessons. I think at home, it would probably cause a riot if I were to stop, Finding Nemo with my little kids, midway to discuss Nemo's decisions, they'd be like, just want to watch the movie. So like, I think that, I guess it's unclear who your audience are, but if you haven't clarified that, I think your teacher and school curriculum may be a very viable path where I think you might get a lot of receptivity.
Great question. The initial notion of the app was for in-home family viewing, I guess with the halo area around educational environments or youth development environments. I actually developed a paper version of this program with a nonprofit that I operated for 5 years. We were in like 15 locations of after school stars in Los Angeles. So thousands of interactions in terms of movies with young people. Have a lot of feedback. That's a really good environment for reaching the kids in this area. But the premise of digitizing this was sort of to put the power of learning opportunities in the hands of parents to kind of satisfy the age-old question of what movie do we watch, what's appropriate and worthwhile, and then is there something more that we can get out of the movies with our young people. Agreed that there's a big eye roll opportunity for young people during the premise of pausing a movie for a few minutes to have a conversation about it. I guess my long-term vision for the app would be to enable people to interact as shallow or as they would desire, or potentially with the older end of the age range to allow kids to kind of just self-direct through the experience with the application, which kind of the architecture of the way I'm thinking through it, I think we'd be able to accomplish that.
I think
So
we
there's
saw
a bunch,
some.
bunch of good feedback in the chat here, Chris. Check that out. I double down what's on, and I think we're getting a lot of double downs in the chat. So check that out. Great work. Nice to see where this went in a month. Very cool.
Right on. Thank you. Yep. In terms of feedback for the class, great experience. For me personally, given like I had a pretty large history with the project, getting into the actual interactions using VS Code and interacting with the LLM to get moving on the development was the most exciting part for me. Even in the process of doing that, I think it surfaced shortcomings in the levels of content I had already pre-existing and surfacing the need to kind of repurpose some things, as well as like refining some of the pedagogical ideas and notions that I had, thinking through what would be accomplishable digitally versus face to face. So
yeah,
some learning opportunities and
well, you had that challenge that a lot of people had who come in with a lot of content and a really fleshed out idea. You, Venkat, a variety of other folks. You have the opposite problem of people who come in with a really rough or nebulous idea, right? Which is what pre-code in the workbook try and do. Try and normalize that for folks. So excellent. Very good. Very nice. Thanks, Chris. Appreciate it. I think the last person here to go is Lacey. Are you there?
She said she
Lacey
couldn't
actually
make
had
it.
yeah, she had some last minute commitment. She's not going to come.
Oh no. Bummer.
Oh no. Okay. Okay.
Well then, well, I know we're 5 over, so Mudasir, would you mind putting the poll up for folks so we can get the vote in? Oh, that was fast. Well done. Thank you.
Can you guys just run through like the name of the product everyone had just to make sure we remember correctly?
Yeah,
or each person could say.
We'll let each
theirs.
person go through. That's a good call. So we don't have some recency bias and go through Mora.
Yeah, the product's name is Daily Fuel, and it was the GLP-1 companion.
Hillary.
Hillary, it was Kin, helping your aging parents with everyday requests and tasks.
Nico.
The Q3D sensing developer portal and scanning functionality and analytic.
Matt. Mudasir, I'll let you speak for Matt as his videographer.
Well, he had Rep Lab IQ, which was candidate reputation intelligence.
There you go. Ina?
My product name is Lumina. It's an AI video try-on generation tool for brands. Yeah.
And Chris.
Character reels, character education through popular movie viewing.
All right. Everyone, please get your votes in. All right, Mudasir, can you go off mute?
Yep. Yeah.
How's the tally? We'd like to announce it live if we can.
We can. I think there's just one person who hasn't voted yet. I'll just close the votings in like 15 seconds.
Okay. All right. While we wait for those that presented, again, opportunity to share domain if you want people to go check it out, or your LinkedIn profiles to connect with anyone. We'll be following up with our own posts, and we'll share this recording with everybody too. Thank you everyone for attending. It was a pleasure both hosting everyone in SnapCamp and being a part of that learner's journey for all of you. And as always, it's awesome to see these final demos and everyone come in with just an idea and a thought and see you walk away with what everyone was able to accomplish in that month. So
Powerful, powerful, powerful. And we invite you back. Remember, you can audit future boot camps. So if you're curious, the next boot camp is going to have the beta of free code. Everybody here who was on free code, you get the opportunity to use free code going forward. There'll be a big beta for that, probably by the end of this week or the beginning of next week. I put it in chat. If you want to make that transition, there's a playbook for that. We'll work with the engineers to make that happen for you. Yeah, would love to have you folks come back. Would love to see what you continue to build. So be part of the community. You're now part of the founding community. Join those calls if you can. They're really valuable. There's a lot going on there. You can learn from other founders. You can learn from other builders. There's funders that come and participate. We have VCs sometimes come and participate. It's an incredible community. Make it what you will. Yeah.
And
thank you, everybody.
Thank you. And we have more boot camps coming up. So again, if you've been through it, like Dan said, you can always audit a future one. If you want to refer somebody in your network to a future Snap Camp or a Snap Sprint, you can do so, and that earns any free Pro Plus month of subscription, so 5 engineering hours. So
yeah,
it's another way.
the link to the next one, Mudasir put it in chat. So if you're going to make a LinkedIn post, which we really hope you do, please tag myself, tag Garrett in that to get some reach. Put a link, if you would, to the next bootcamp, July 8th. We really appreciate your support and your willingness to be alpha guinea pigs with free code. Thank you so much.
Yeah. We have the results as well.
All right, let's hear it.
Okay, perfect. So Matt is going to be very happy because he won. He is on the first place, even though he's not here. Congrats to him. Second is Mora, and third is Hillary. Congratulations, everyone.
Woohoo!
All right, thanks everybody. Congrats. First gets a Pro Plus subscription, and second and third get Pro subscription. So 2 hours each. So if you want to subscribe for something different, we'll just add the hours to whatever it is you subscribe to. But otherwise, enjoy the free month.
Oh. Awesome, everybody. Stay in contact, and I'd love to see where things go for you.
And if you need anything at all, you know where to find Dan or myself. Just reach out.
Just reach out.
Thanks.
Thanks, everybody. Go have fun building.